Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and if you're wondering why I'm speaking so softly, it's because we just put the kiddo down to bed. But have you ever fallen asleep and you weren't completely asleep? So you wind up having a dream that's so vivid it shakes you right out of your bed. Well, that literally just happened to me, and it was one of my worst nightmares, and it felt so real. And I'll share with you on the channel what it was. I dreamt that I walked into my game room one day and decided to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But when I opened the case, the disc was completely rotted. And then I opened another Dreamcast game, and that disc was rotted. And then I did another, and another, and another. And when I got through all of my Dreamcast games, all of the discs had somehow rotted out, and they were all suffering from a tremendous amount of disc rot. And so it made me say, okay, hold on, wait. You need to go back to the game room and check every disc you have to make sure that you did not suffer, or your games have not suffered, from disc rot. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever had or experienced disc rot, or maybe you know what disc rot looks like, or I don't know if disc rot happens to a game or to a disc after a certain amount of time. But for me, it shook me out of my bed and quite literally has me up here now in the evening looking at all of my games to make sure that they have not suffered any disc rot. Now, call me crazy, call me obsessive, but I really enjoy my Dreamcast collection. In fact, the Dreamcast is probably, I feel like I say this about all my games, right? But the Dreamcast is one of the most nostalgic systems to me because this is what I played in high school. And yeah, I know a lot of us like to talk about the games we played when we were 5 and 6 and 10, but let's be honest, how good of a gamer were you at 10 years old? I mean, maybe you were a prodigy, right? But not me. I didn't hit my full gaming stride until high school. And so the Dreamcast, I mean, it holds a special place in my heart. So for me to have a dream that all of my Dreamcast games have suffered from disc rot, no. So I had to get up and I had to take a look. And now I'm combing through each and every one of these games, making sure that they have not suffered a scary amount of disc rot. Now, someone let me know down in the comments. Can you let me know what causes disc rot? Are there certain types of discs that are more susceptible to disc rot? Is it based on temperature? Is it based on the weather? What is it based on? What causes disc rot? From what I understand and from the little that I've read about it, it seems like it just happens. Like there's no real rhyme or reason. Like you could just wake up one day and look at your games and guess what? Now they're all rotten. And that's just a very, very scary proposition to me. So I'm interested to know down in the comments. I don't need to watch any... Wait, what's this? What do I have in here? So I have Ellen. I knew there was something wrong. See, it's a good thing I came down here. So this copy of Elemental Gimmick Gear, for some reason, is in the same case as Techromancer. See, my spidey senses were tingling. I knew something was off. And now that I think of it, my copy of Elemental Gimmick Gear did feel a little bit lighter than it should have been. So let me see here. Gunbird 2. Gunbird 2 is missing. Where's Gunbird 2? That's another issue. Let's see. Now here goes my copy of Elemental Gimmick Gear. And there's a disc in here. Hold on. Wasn't I just holding Elemental Gimmick Gear? I have 2 copies of Elemental Gimmick Gear? What is going on here? Okay, this is freaky. Maybe this is weird. Mate, this is, I promise you, Y2K crew, this is not a staged thing. I literally just ran up here to discover that I have 2 copies of Elemental Gimmick Gear and my copy of Gunbird 2 is missing. What is going on? I'm glad that I'm recording this so that y'all don't think I'm crazy. But Gunbird has to be around here somewhere. But why do I have 2 copies of Elemental Gimmick Gear? And what is this, Virtual On? Okay, so Virtual On is there. Hold on. Now I gotta check something. Please let Gunbird be in here. Ah, okay. Whew. So here's Gunbird 2. So at least I know I was playing Gunbird 2. And at least I know that I'm not going crazy. So it turns out I have 2 copies of Elemental Gimmick Gear. This is some crazy stuff. This is wild. So I have 2 copies of this game. I did not know that. So you let me know down in the comments. What should I do now that I've made this discovery? And this is why dreams are so important, because look at that. I have 2 copies of this game, and I never would have known that had I not run up here in a panic to check to make sure that all of my games did not suffer disk rot. So I'll tell you what, Y2K crew, let me know what I should do with this. Should I bundle this in something and give it as a giveaway? How many of you play the Dreamcast? This extra copy of Elemental Gimmick Gear might be good luck. Who knows? I'm interested to know what this is about. This is crazy. I never knew that I had 2 copies of Egg. That's wild. So, yeah, if you have a Dreamcast collection, or if you have a collection of older CDs, let me know what the best way is to store CD-based games to prevent disk rot, because I do have a large number of games in my collection that are disc-based, and I want to make sure that I am not storing them in a way to where they're going to be susceptible to disk rot, because that would ultimately suck. Now, don't get me wrong. It's easy to burn Dreamcast games. It's easy to make these again. I remember back in high school, we used to burn games all the time. This is like one of the easiest systems to burn games for. It's probably why it's one of the easiest systems to make games for, because you could literally burn a game onto a disc like no problem and easily play it on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was just cool like that. One of the best systems ever. But let me know down in the comments, is there a good way to store these games and to keep these games? I want to keep my collection preserved for as long as possible, because I really like my Dreamcast game, and I'm still blown away that I ran up here and found out that I had an additional copy of Egg. That's crazy. Let me know down in the comments, what's the best way to store these games? What's the best way to prevent disk rot? And who wants a copy of Egg? It's the Y2K Collector. Hope y'all have a good night.